Hello, everybody, tonight. Tonight is a very special stream of me, unironically, doing ASMR for all of you. You know, when I first started brewing ideas for my maid model, who was the inspiration behind it but one Miss Sakuya Izayoi herself? So, with the best visual novel of 2024, Sleeping with Sakuya Izayoi, that came out back on January 12th. What better thing than for me to treat y'all to one of the best jokes that I could think of. Hi, Even. Hi, Calvin. Well, let's just have a nice, relaxing night together now, shall we? I wish I had a binaural mic, but you'll have to deal with my HyperX quadcast instead. Hello once again, dear. I'll just take this time to just soak in the moment and just cherish what we've got here. It's been a busy January, to be honest. But I'm glad that despite how busy I've been with my work, despite how much time I've had away out of the mansion, I'm able to come back to nights like these. I'm able to just lay down, just spend it with you. You know? What is your favorite color? You know, mine is blue. The color of calmness, just like the sea. Speaking of the sea, it's just the perfect place to relax, give advice, and even death. You know, maybe I should cut myself off there. You know, it's weird to think about it when you say it's a week away from February already. This January's gone by pretty fast. At least for us here at the Starwood Devil Mansion, the snow did take away a good amount of our outdoor activities that we wanted to do. A lot of ice came by, froze things over, and took a lot of time out of our days, lots more out of my own, with dealing with that problem. The weather may ruin your plans sometimes, but I do hope that you can still make the most out of every single day that you get the chance. You know, me being a maid, I'm always striving to do what I can for the people that I serve. When it comes to you, you should be able to serve yourself. Be happy with what you're doing, and do things for yourself. Treat yourself. Have some fun. Go ahead and eat out. Buy that game that you always wanted. Take care of yourself in moderation just as much as you work in moderation. And at the end of the day, just enjoy your life every single day. Whether it be your version of happiness of working 9 to 5 and then cutting back afterwards, or just feeling like you might have an off day, not needing to do anything more. But just come here. Lie in bed with the one you love most. That's sometimes all it takes, isn't it? You know, holding hands and going for a walk outside sounds like a fun date idea. What do you think? A lot of people that I see and know are introverts. Even all of my online friends, well, not all of them per se, but a good amount of them are afraid to do things out of embarrassment or out of being judged, even though I can clearly see the passion in their eyes. And I can clearly see that that's something they want to do, or something that they are very proud of. And because of that, it saddens me a little, knowing that they feel like the world is not going to look kindly upon them. Feeling like they don't want to expose that vulnerability, that thing that they really like, just because it's not commonly seen among other people, among other children, teenagers, adults. Public displays of affection are one big thing I see as well. That just, for my friends in relationships, they're shy about it. Because they're embarrassed about, well, getting to brag about the one they love the most. I don't mean to push them out of their comfort zone, especially if that's not the type of person they are. But you can be proud that you have somebody who'd love to stand by your side. And well, of course it's going to make me swell up in pride when I can see the person that I love the most holding hands with me, not just in private, but in public too. And when it comes to having a relationship especially, you'd want to cherish every single moment that you can, right? So, take those opportunities even if you're scared. Hold those hands in public. Even if people may judge you, they'll probably do it silently. And if they're going to intrude on your happiness, even if it's just as simple as holding hands, telling the person that you love them in public, that's their problem, not yours, isn't it? You know, I'm not too fond of pests. As a matter of fact, we occasionally rate the Danmaku of the other residents of Gensokyo. Mazarin came up, and I automatically rated her Danmaku a low score, simply because she was a rat. What can I say? Pests do give me a small sense of discomfort. Not necessarily because they're pests, but because they are intruding upon my duties as a maid. They're all trying to live their life as nature decrees, of course, but when they start intruding in our own personal space, that's when we need to push them back and of course take care of them. I do hope that whenever it comes to more pressing matters though, you're able to put up your own boundaries and be able to push those problems away, push those pests away. Be it problematic friends, work situations, or just anything that comes your way. After all, you want to live your own life to the fullest, so why should you let a pest intrude on what you deem is the best situation for you, right? Now, how accurate is my aim? Well, let's just say I can clip your fingernails 100 kilometers away by throwing my knives. You won't find someone else who's better at throwing knives than me. Proof of concept? Nothing much. I don't mean that as a threat. I just mean that as a boast. It's like a hobby of mine, if you want to put it that way. Of course I use it as a way to polish my skills in Danmaku, but it very much so is a skill I can take pride in. And when it comes to your own hobbies, interests, or skills that you want to be proud about, once again, be proud of it. Be boastful. Not everybody will ever lead the same life as you. And as such, you should be happy and be proud and showcase to the world that you aren't afraid to say, hey, I'm the best at throwing knives. Hey, I'm the best in this game. Hey, I've got this unique physical, mental, whatever skill, ability, Danmaku that you have. And be able to puff out your chest, swell in pride, and just showcase to everybody, I am unique. I am skilled, and I'm leading a wonderful life that I can be proud about. In the time that I've spent in perfecting and honing this skill, and showing it off not just to my friends but to the public, and just being the best version of myself that I can be. Isn't that right? I love you for who you are. So don't ever change unless it's to improve yourself. Okay? A lot of people that I know, IRL, before they got into their relationships, they got wrapped up in themselves. They felt like they were unworthy of love. They felt like they had to take drastic steps to improve themselves. Fact is, if you've already found a partner who's willing to put up with whatever inadequacies you may perceive yourself to have, that's already somebody who cares about all the good and wants you to improve all the bad. And they don't need you to put on airs and act like somebody else completely for their sake. You just keep doing what you've been doing. There's nothing more to that, right? You want to be the best version of yourself at all times, right? Well, what more can you really say than just leading the best example? Keep doing what you're doing, but strive to improve. See what more you could be doing, whether it be harnessing a little bit more hours into your hobby, or finding something new to flush out your hours and your schedules with. Especially so when it comes to your job is your job. Your sleep is your sleep. Those will take up hours, parts, halves, wholes of your days. But those times in between, when you get the chance to hang out with your friends, when you get that chance to go out on dates, when you get that chance to do a little bit more in your hobbies, in your skills, in your assets, that's when you can develop to be the best version of yourself that you can be. That's when you can only become a much better person, developing all throughout. You don't have to put on airs when you're trying to court somebody or make new friends. It may seem good in the short run, but quite frankly, you are lying to your own self about what you can do, when you should instead be looking to improve upon yourself and focus on what you should do. There is that one term, fake it till you make it. That can ring true. After all, a lot of people have blundered their way to the top. But when it comes to an individual personal level, if you feel like you have to fake your confidence, the only way that you actually can start to build it up is by little bits of self-improvement. Put yourself to that schedule. Don't only get out of bed, make that bed. Being able to see the tangible improvements upon your own life when it comes to these situations is how you get better as a person, how you improve your own mood, your own energy. And well, that's how you want to get yourself into the right state of mind and just to lead your life once again. Because when it comes to, you don't need to have that fake confidence. You don't need to put on that fake air, those shows of bravado and acting like somebody else that you are not. The people who love you, the friends that will cherish you and stick it out with you, the partner and soulmate that you will find, they will love you for who you are. And once again, what you strive to be. They will stick it out with you throughout the good and the bad. Most of all, they will see that you are trying to improve and become a better version of yourself. And what did I say about this earlier? I love you for who you are, always. You know, in any relationship, communication is very important. So you better communicate how much you love me every single day. When it comes to those efforts, it's one thing to be attempting to become a better version of yourself, but it's another thing to make it extrinsically known. Not everybody will be able to have the same time to spare in figuring out every single waking moment of your life. Your family, your friends, even your closest partner, they may not know what you're going through, and that's why communication is important. Because you alone are the arbiter and witness to all 24 hours of every single day of your life. But when it comes to somebody else, you're only on their mind for as long as you may be in physical contact with them, or as long as your name pops up on their computer screen. The biggest thing that I feel like I see with it is that sometimes you may just become a fleeting memory, an aside for somebody's day. And that can sometimes, cause misconceptions, cause miscommunication, cause people to think otherwise. And it can sometimes be a problem. When you are suffering, and yet nobody knows, not because they don't care about you, but because they don't know that you're suffering. It's a healthy thing to be vulnerable. It's a healthy thing to be able to say to people, hey, I'm not in the best place right now, but I'm still here, and I'm glad that you're reaching out to me. And the same thing goes on the other side of the fence. If somebody you care about is not themselves, if somebody you care about is not having the best day, just telling them, hey, I'm here for you. I want to be a lifeline in case you feel comfortable upon calling me. And I love you, and I will support you through whatever you're going through. I love you, And I'm communicating my feelings out to you like this right now. So, better communicate how much you love me every single day. Better tell your friends how much you love them every single day. You should tell your family how much you love them every single day. You think I'd look good in the tracksuit? Now where did you get such a silly idea? Something that I feel a lot of people just don't put stock in is appearances. I'm not talking about the fancy makeup. I'm not talking about having to look like a supermodel. What I'm talking about here is just how you dress on a day-to-day basis. Even if you're not going out. If you're just staying at home. Getting out of your pajamas. And be a real mood lifter. It separates you being in your bed, being lethargic, being sleepy, and you intending to do something while you're dressed up. Be it just throwing the trash out of the house, to maybe deciding on saying yes to those friends that you want to go out with. And when you do go out with your friends, they put in an effort to dress up, get out of their own pajamas, or their own undergarments, and just be with you, socially, on a new scale of vulnerability, putting yourself out there in public. And You should compliment them on that. Boys, girls, however they identify. They will remember it. For a fleeting moment, or a lot more. You compliment them on their style. You tell them how good they look with that hairstyle. You tell them, that dress looks really cute on you. I like your earrings. And you will see their confidence and their happiness rise. People put different stock on their own appearance as they do their confidence. And a lot of people don't have a lot of self-confidence in themselves. No matter how close you may be to somebody, they might feel comfortable and confident with you, but alone, you may not know how they're feeling. So, brighten that person's day. Their smile will brighten yours, and they'll remember that. Try to put in that same effort towards you. We prop each other up. We lift each other up. That's what a good relationship does. Familial, friendly, or deeper than that. That's just simply how we want to live our lives. Bringing each other to the best mental state that we can, putting ourselves up to the most positive state that we can. And well, just drawing out the best in each of us. Right? Oh, the cherry blossom incident. That was the one I personally helped solve. Yes, Yuko wanted to see what would happen if the ancient cherry tree bloomed. The entire process caused endless winter during springtime to fall across Gensokyo, so I donned my winter scarf and headed out. I, along with Reimu and Marissa, were able to stop the tree from fully blooming, and spring returned as normal. Still though, I wonder what would have happened if it fully bloomed. You don't know much about my own history. You can easily find it online. The Perfect Cherry Blossom Incident, otherwise known as Toho 8. Oh, I think it was 7 rather. EOSD was 6, PCB was 7. Was where I was first playable. I was a playable character after being a boss and mini-boss in my mistress's game. We had to put a stop to the endless winter caused by Yuyuko Sayonji. You know, we call them incidents, but we make up with all of the people afterwards. How malicious, how evil they might have been, or how inadvertent their intentions were. And I feel that's just a good outlook on life itself. Being able to have compassion, even if somebody's making a fuss, even if somebody's making a problem. It's one thing to resolve that incident, to be able to put your foot down, stop whatever problems are happening, stop whatever the person's doing, if it's causing harm to them, to you, or to anybody else. It's another thing to maturely look back upon it and be able to say, hey, things may have been bad before. You might not have done the best. The fact is, I'm willing to forgive you. I'm willing to do my best in whatever capacity to help you grow. And well, I'm looking to forge a friendship, possibly. I'm looking to return our relationship back to where it once was. Forgiveness is a big thing, people. And remember, all actions are taken with an intention in mind. Good, bad, for the best, for the worst. When it comes to, we keep our friends close, we keep our enemies closer, as the saying says. And sometimes, what you may construe as an attack on you may have just been an unfortunate coincidence, or it may have just been something good that just backfired and hurt you instead. They're accidents for a reason. people don't always assume the worst, or don't always mean the worst, or intend to do the worst. So why should you try to make your entire day all the worst and spend all your energy being mad? Things do happen. Stuff hits the fan. I have been prone to my own outbursts myself. The fact is, I don't want that to consume every single day. I want to still be able to lead my day, having faith that people are still trying to do the right thing. And well, when it comes to my own actions, I hope that whenever I mess up, people can at least give me that same benefit of the doubt and carry on. Fact is, we're not perfect human beings. We are creatures of habit. We associate bad things with bad memories with bad people. And well, these kinds of incidents, they really shape your character with how you react and how you remember them. Hopefully, whenever it comes to your problems, if they weren't egregious ones, if they were simple accidents, you can look upon them, laugh upon those memories, and be able to move on with your life without putting anger, words, actions, trying to get back on that. You just want to live happy lives, right? So look upon those memories happily, if you can. You know about the magician, Ursa Kurosame. She snuck into the library one time, but I didn't tell Patchouli where she was. I just said there was a rat and she went away. I'm not sure why I did it, but I guess I figured there's no harm in keeping all those books holed up in the library. Sometimes your friends may come at odds with each other with what they do. Sometimes what one person does may contradict what another person wants. You just act to the best of your judgment, or what may it be in the moment. But fact is, you still act with good intentions, right? And I don't think I need to harp on that anymore from my last point. We try our best to live good lives, try our best to do good things, and come back at the end of the day to a good rest. Isn't that right, dear? I went to the moon once, you know? I fought off the Watatsky sisters. I lost and gracefully accepted defeat. But I think I would win in a rematch. The Watatsky sisters, said to be some of the most powerful people in all of Gensokyo. Being able to learn from your mistakes, or learn from your own defeats, be it in a game, in a sport, or just what you consider defeat in life. Something didn't work out for you. Being able to grow, try to rise to that challenge once again, is a mark of growth. It's a mark of wanting to learn, of wanting to get better, and wanting to just be an overall better person. So never stop striving to do better. Never stop improving your hobbies. Never stop trying to be the best version of yourself, as I've said before, and I'll always keep saying. You can always be a better friend. You can always be a better hobbyist. You can always be a better partner, learning to understand what your fellow partner needs, what your fellow partner wants in the relationship. You're never going to be perfect at something, but you can definitely get close to it if you always keep trying every single day. You like my streaming? You like my work here? I will keep trying every single day for your sake, and I hope that you do too. The world! Sorry, I just felt good saying that. You know that word cringe. A lot of people, as they grow up, they see things that they might not have resonated with in their childhood. They look upon that and cringe, or look at their own memories and cringe. Even the culture that we live in here. With anime, with VTubing, with conventions, going out and performing those weird awesome moves. Those moe moe kyuns. That can be considered cringe to what you would consider everybody out of the loop. But if you can be proud of being cringe, unironically, you'd never be embarrassed a day in your life, because you are embracing what makes you, you, what you like the best about this series, and being unapologetically in love, in private and in public, about what interests you and what shaped you. And what better person, with more self-confidence, with more love in their heart, than showing it out to the world, than you. To put your mind out there, to put yourself out there, and be able to say cringe things like that out loud. We've all had moments like that in our lives, haven't we? We may have said something that we look back upon as a dark childhood memory. Well, that's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is being, once again, unapologetically you. I'll always love you, no matter how you act. And I just hope that if you're too shy to share it out to the world or not confident to do so, that I can help bring that out of you. That your friends can help you find your place out of your shell. And you can be proud. Do whatever you set your mind to, not worrying about what others judge you to be, not worrying if it's cringe, as they call it. And just being happy with what makes you happy, doing what makes you happy, without any judgment or fear. You can do it. You've always been able to, and I know it. You know, in Gensokyo, anyone can learn the ability to fly. Even humans. How about I teach you to fly? You can go on romantic dates across the skies sometime. Give me just one moment, dear. I just wanted to drink a little bit of water right there. I didn't want to bother you. Flying cars were that one thing that was predicted to come around in the 2020s. Of course, in Gensokyo, we have no need of such technology, although we can have the campus build it for us if we wanted. It may just be only a metaphor and something of an idea lost to years later on. But, as with the previous topic of embracing your cringe, of being proud to do what you want and showcasing your interest in public, let your colors fly. Be proud of who you are. Nobody else will be as proud of you or support you as much as yourself. And if you're not confident enough to do so yet, I understand. It's not easy to get somebody to come out of their shell for the first time. It's not easy to put yourself exposed in front of your friends, in front of your family, and say, I want to do this. I want to be this. But I do hope that one day, and with my help, and the help of your friends, we can get you closer to that, if it comes to. If you ever feel confident enough to do what you like, in front of me, in front of your friends, in front of the whole world, then I hope we can go on this journey together. And I hope that past you putting yourself out there for the first time, you can develop that confidence to keep doing it, keep trying your best, and keep being the best you that you can be. Oh, you like my braids? Thank you. Well, when you grow out your hair a little more, I can braid it for you. On that subject of self-confidence, I know a lot of people, my own friends in particular, that when they wake up, they don't fight their bedhead, they just let it rock. But it also unfortunately does contribute to their own image of themselves, of being a messy, unkempt, and ugly person, but that's in their eyes. A little self-hygiene when it comes to even wetting your hair with some water, brushing it down with your hands or a natural comb, even just putting a hat on to let it lower down. If it fixes itself and you get to see yourself in that mirror, and see yourself not freshly waking up, but maybe a more professional setting, maybe in a more well-kept setting, you're gonna see more beauty in yourself, more beauty in your days, and quite frankly, more self-confidence. You took a conscious action of fixing that bedhead, to the conscious action of fixing up your own image. That's not just projected to you, but projected to everybody who sees you. And well, at one time, it can become 2, it can become 3, it can become, instead of a notation on the calendar, it can become a habit, and a lot more. That contributes to not only how you keep yourself all put together day by day, but how everybody will see you day by day if you're going out to your job, if you're going out to your hangout spot. And that attitude will reflect not on just how you look, but how you yourself act. Putting in that extra energy, even if it takes a second of your time to put on that cap, or an hour of your time with establishing your makeup, with getting your hair ready for going out. You can be proud of that. The fact that you put yourself in that position, waking up early to fix yourself up, or dedicating an hour without rest to seeing how well you look with all of that makeup, with that extra piercing on your ear, with those nice little accessories you decide to adorn yourself with. And you look like the person that you want to be out facing in public. You look like, yes, this is my exact outfit, this is my exact look, and I am happy with it. I am happy. That does wonders for putting yourself in a much better position, in a much better mental state, day by day. You know? The Flower View incident. That's the one that changed me for the better. A bunch of red spider always were popping up across the land. I set out to investigate it and classed with a bunch of yokai, as well as Reimu and Marissa. Eventually, I finally met the person who I thought was responsible for the incident, the Yama. Her name was Eiki, but it turns out she was just doing her job. There wasn't anything bad happening. Still though, she gave me a lecture and told me how I was too cold to humans. I argued a bit with her, but after defeating her in a Danmaku battle, I realized she was right. I was too cold-hearted to humans, and I shouldn't be that way. So I decided to shorten my warmth and kindness wherever possible. I love you. Altruism. Kindness. Making the world better one smile at a time. You hear those put out all the time by the media, all the time by tropes in media, or just, common sayings across history. But quite frankly, it does make a tangible difference on both sides. Being able to tell other people, hey, you're doing great. Hey man, what's up? Hey girl, I hope you're doing alright. Thank you for all that you've done for me. Thank you for being my friend. Showing any kind of kindness that you can to strangers, family, or friends does a lot more, and they will remember it for way longer, for days, weeks, months, years. Even if they knew you for your entire life, but they didn't know you at all. You may never know that impact, but it takes you 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds of your day to say, thank you for your hard work. You look nice today. Or I love you. As when you say it, truthfully within your heart, it gets people's minds up. It makes them think about what caused them to have a reaction like that. Why did they praise me? It's not an empty platitude. It's because they saw something in me. Because they wanted to. It's because they went out of their way to say thank you for your hard work when they didn't have to. You could have stayed silent. You could have done nothing. You could have just walked away and been done with your job or been done with your hobby. But being able to just brighten up somebody's day more than you may think it does goes a lot more. It travels a farther distance in somebody's mind. They'll remember it for years and years to come. Back when I was first trying to make my own friend groups, in college especially so, it's hard breaking out into an established class of people, breaking out into a new living situation, or hangout spot or so. But as you get to know more and more people there, you find your comfort, right? And as you see new people arrive, you try to make them comfortable. I can recall so many times that just somebody being nice to me helps getting a conversation started, and then I work my way into the group. I also know on the other end where I see somebody enjoying the same hobby as me, or in the same space as me. And just even reach out with a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you? What brings you here? Why do you like this? It may be small talk, but sometimes that can do a lot more for that person than you, and you may never realize it once again. That is 3 seconds of your day can contribute so much more time rent-free in somebody's mind. Let's be kind to other people now. Don't be cold. Make the world a better place. And I know you can do it, love. You know, Patchouli has quite the book collection. I read a few books from the library myself. Sometimes I'll read romance books. Laying in bed with you, though, it beats any book. Books are underrated. There's a lot of good self-help that you can read upon, or you can just find yourself lost in a fantasy world sometimes. It's a very personal thing that I've been taking into account a lot more recently. Reading a few novels myself, or just taking the time to read even fan fictions. They make somebody's labor and love in their mind. And quite frankly, they can open your mind up to so many new situations, to so many new experiences, just as going out. But of course, it's no substitute for being able to spend time with somebody, especially if it's somebody that you love. Isn't that right? think I've talked about the Flower View incident already, of course. Yukari Yakumo. Is that name familiar to you? She's one of the sages of Gensokyo. She's kinda lazy, but she's very powerful, and more or less runs things around here. I fought with her one time. It was a Danmaku battle. When I eventually won the battle, she talked about how she would kidnap children. I hoped she was joking, but regardless, I remember firmly saying, "You better give those children back." Don't mess around with Yukari. You're always safe with me. Find your safe space with the people that you're comfortable with. Be it your one close friend group, or your partner, or your family, or whatever you deem is safe to you. And don't be afraid to be unapologetically you at all times. To apologize, to show courage, to be able to fall back upon them if you feel like you aren't confident enough, if you're scared of a new thing, you're scared of a new try, and if you'll fail or not. Because at the very end of the day, you'll be able to just go back, cry in the corner if you need, think a little bit to yourself, enjoy the company of those people. It's a safe space, kind of like where we are now. Isn't that right? The Imperishable Night incident. This was yet another incident I hope to personally resolve along with Romelia. Two people named Erden and Kaguya tried to replace the moon with a fake moon. I'm not entirely sure about the details, but I think it had something to do with the Lunarians on the real moon. Either way, we put a stop to it. The real moon would return to Gensokyo. Of course I had some help, but I like to think I was a vital part in resolving that incident. The moon. It's really wonderful to gaze upon the sky like that, you know? Looking upon something of nature itself that changes with time. Just as we always will. All of us will always change constantly with time. I know, especially so. It can be scary to want to change, to want to be better. But you'll always have my support in doing so. With good intentions, you want to improve yourself, right? With good intentions, you want to be better or learn a new skill, be it for yourself, be it to impress somebody. Fact is, you're still putting that effort in, right? So go, get that bread. Go, sharpen your hobbies and skills. I'll be with you every step of the way. Do I remember that day where I saved you? Well, of course I did. Although you were at your lowest. I'm really glad I got to meet you that day. We pick each other up when we're at our lowest. We help each other out and keep ourselves propped up when we're at our highest. Throughout everything, I will be with you. Throughout your best and your worst moments. I am here for you, as I always should be. You shouldn't be afraid of anything ever. I will always be there to save you. Because I love you. You know, I'm not sure. I always dreamt of becoming a maid. But sometimes our dreams evolve and shape into something we can never imagine. It's best to not look on what could have been, but rather making the most of what you have now. And right now, I'm in heaven. Never would I have thought that I would be doing ASMR like this, for instance. And yet, here I am. I joked about it, I had a redeem for it, but at the end of the day, I got people responding to me about it. I got people who wanted to see this. I had people who genuinely showed this interest and wanted more. It may not be the path I expected to take, but it's the path that I am on now. And I'd be glad to do this again. Because this stream, and the time I spend with you now, is only the most wonderful that I ever get with you. I love you. If you're ever in a dark place, just think of me, okay? The power of love and doing things out of spite is a very, very funny concept. A lot of people would go all the way in on a joke, on a gag, on a prank on somebody that they know. Because they can. People will do stupid things with their friends. Out of spite, out of love, just out of camaraderie. Because they're thinking about what impression it might give to the person that they're thinking about. And it goes the same when you're not feeling the best. You get yourself out of a bad situation, out of a ditch that you're in, out of a dark place, on your own merits. I can do only so much to help you myself physically. But mentally, I can always try to be there for you. If you can think of me, helping you, supporting you, being there with you every step of the way, I know you can get yourself out of there. I know you're the type of person to pick themselves back up. I know. Because I love you. Karaoke? What's that? Singing songs together? Sure. It sounds like fun. We can definitely try something like that later on. One thing I've been trying to do with my own friends recently is drag them out of the house more. We can hang out at each other's houses all the time. But that's just one place. There's so many things I can do with them. I can go out and eat dinner, lunch, breakfast, somewhere with them. Somewhere we haven't been, somewhere new. I can take them to a fun activity, like the suggested karaoke, and make new memories for all of us together. Especially so. Don't be afraid to spend time with your friends. As you get older, as you get out of your school, out of your college, out of your home situation from your parents or your family, wherever you are, and start to move on with your life. Life moves at a fast pace. Time moves very fast for everybody but me. I may be able to stop time, but when time's moving, I want to be able to spend time with the people that I care about. Because everybody's schedules makes things so hard to be able to do anything with them at all times. But we make those concessions. We check our calendars. We etch out days on when we can all be together. Or spend days together like this. It can be a big boisterous convention, a nice relaxing dinner date, or just an evening in bed like this. Whatever makes you the happiest, it'll make me the happiest. And that's all I want. Out of my family, out of my friends, out of the one that I truly care the most with. Because I'm with them right now. You know, during the cherry blossom incident, I was the brunt of a few jokes. Both Ran and Yuyuko called me a dog. I'm sure it was all in good fun, though. There's that one term that gets thrown around. Joshing. I'm just joshing with you. You make fun of your friends. That's all in good fun. It's all understood to be in good fun. When you get to know somebody so well enough, you know what they like and dislike. You can find yourself in those situations where you can confidently push their buttons. Where you can get on their bad side, and they know that you're not trying to do it to make them mad. You're just trying to provoke them and cause a good laugh. That is one of the ultimate signs of comfort, in my opinion. To be able to know somebody so well enough that you can joke with them, that you can do something that could cause them discomfort, and at the end of the day being able to wind it back and just say, I know you well enough that even if you are going to be mad at me for a moment, you can forgive me and just laugh. Because we know each other that well enough. I hope that's how we can think of each other in this capacity. To where we can let these jokes slide, play off of them, laugh at ourselves, not take each other that seriously, and understand each other well enough to where however we communicate, be it just straightforward with no thoughts of saying, hey, I want to do this, or hey, can you not do that? To be able to sling those insults back and forth and just get away with it. Have our own little memories, have our own inside jokes, just like that. I would definitely take a little offense to being called a dog again, but I know, and you know, that it's all in good fun. So who's denied good fun from a good relationship? Right? I wish this moment lasted forever. Naturally, it can. As long as you're here, I'm not going anywhere. One thing that I feel this generation has really grossly misunderstood is the dire impact of how set behind the world is. When COVID hit, I didn't get to leave the mansion for 2 years, just about. Same with a lot of the people that I know. And they had to do many different things for their circumstances. Get new jobs, take off of school. They got set back, but the world moved on without them. Their age continued ticking, their body continued growing, but their actual position in the world didn't change. Rather, it changed for the worst. We're not all trying to catch up with each other. Some of us are, Some of us feel so far behind in life that we need to do the best that we can in doubling down and getting back to where we should be for our jobs as we may think. But that shouldn't mean you can't treat yourself to a little bit of extra rest. When you may think you need those self-help days, when you need to take off and lie down in bed, I'll gladly join that bed with you. And I'd wish those moments should last forever. Streams like these should last forever. Because you're getting to just unwind, not think about anything more, but rest in your weary head. As you've been shouldering this burden of working, of going to school, of learning, of dealing with all these stresses in a new environment that you may not be suited for, that you are ill-equipped for physically, mentally, or more. Not everybody's going to succeed at first hand. Not everybody's going to have the same reaction or same coping mechanisms. But at the end of the day, if you have to take that day off, you shouldn't look upon that as wasted time. You spent all that time relaxing, of resting yourself, of recuperating, regenerating your energy, and being ready to try again tomorrow. And that's all that I can ask of you. To put your health first and look towards the future. Right? I wish moments like these could last forever. Where I got to rest right beside you. But when it comes to, I can't. Time will move on. We have to move on from this bed and get out there and do our work. So let's enjoy this moment while it lasts. And when you get out there, you do your best so we can return to times like these. Isn't that right? For now, we can sleep together, rest it off, be done with a day like this. You know, I love my name. Sakuya. It sounds so nice when you say it. Not sure how I got it though. Or do I? Name calling. On that same note. When it comes to joshing your friends, developing pet names for your beloved sweetie, your wonderful baby, your partner in crime, your romantic interest, your soulmate. Everybody has their own unique spin on how they want to be called. And especially in this world of Gensokyo, especially out on the fourth wall, in the realm of VTubing, we chose who we want to be. And we love when we're called just that. Be it by our names, by our pronouns. It shows that people cared enough to learn that. It shows that people respect our identity enough, or love us enough to call us that. Put special emphasis on us, on you, on me, on that special person that each of us are. So say it to your friends, call them out by cute nicknames, refer to your soulmate as such. It means a lot more to them. They'll remember that. They'll love the name that they're given. They'll love the name that they want to be referred to if they change it. They want you to love it just as much as they love it themselves. Just as well, like, I love you, my love. Let me take another sip of water. We are cycling through a little bit here, but I've been enjoying this time here together. After all, it's with you. You know, lots of mythical creatures live in Gensoja. One of them being the chupacabra. Amelia actually has one as a pet. It's kind of adorable once you get used to it. I remember Amelia got so sad when it went missing. It broke my heart. I was so happy when I finally found it. I practically skipped my way to the mansion. A lot of my friends in my family have pets. And they are every bit as much a family as the humans are. That we can communicate with them. Verbally, non-verbally. We may never know if they will ever understand us, but they love us all the same. They love us all the same, and our dogs will give us kisses, our cats will purr for us. They will know when you're suffering and curl up next to you. They will know when you're feeling down and try to spend time with you. Most of all, undoubtedly, they will be there for you as much as they are needed, as much as they can be there, because they love you. Even if you're feeling down about yourself, they know that you've put in just as much effort in caring about them, that you love them so much. You should be able to love yourself, take care of yourself that same way, and they will make it known. It's a special connection, special bond, and a special level of care. The care for your pets like that. The same extends out to the ones you love, human ones, and to yourself. Takes love of all forms. And for you, self-care is the best. Being able to love yourself and build up that confidence. Once again, you can care for your pets, you can care for the ones that you care about and love the most, you can care for yourself. You can always do great things. And there is compassion that I've seen so many times before. You can apply yourself, and I know you can do it. You want to practice throwing knives with me? Sure. That sounds like a lot of fun. Let's practice them on Melee and your patchouli. One thing that I always see getting thrown around is trying to take interest in somebody else's hobby. Particularly if it's somebody that you know. If they like it, so much so that they made a huge part of their time, of their daily or weekly schedule to keep doing it, showing interest really shows how much you care for that person, to take time out of your day to try to learn what they love the most, or what they consider one of their hobbies. It shows how much you care about them as a person themselves. And the same goes on the other side. If you have a hobby, such as streaming, such as throwing knives, such as cooking, and somebody takes the time to ask you, hey, can I do this with you? Hey, can I learn what you do? That's somebody worth keeping. That's somebody who goes out of their way Maybe for a multitude of reasons, because they want to get closer to you, because they want to spend time with you. They just want to broaden the skill set that they have and do it with a friend or somebody closer than that. That's somebody who is growing and wants to grow in the presence of you. And the same once again goes on the other side. If you want to do more with the person that you love, take interest in their hobbies, understand them more than just the good points that they put out in public. Understand, hey, this is a hobby that they like. Why don't I show interest in them? Hey, this is an activity that they do all the time. Why don't I try to involve myself a little bit more in that? Right? I'm sure you're familiar with what a yandere is. If you ever breathe in the direction of another woman, I'm gonna turn you into Swiss cheese. Your eyes should be focused entirely on me. There's no reason to look at anything else. How is my impression? Hopefully, you can find somebody who will act for you that way, who hits all the points in personality that you want. Or you can find an actress, like me, who will gladly be that person that you want. But it's the same thing that goes for you. If you have somebody who cares about you and wants you to be more confident, or to act one way or another for them, that's them showing interest, or that's showing that they want you to become a better person. They show their love in one way of communicating, for instance, by telling you, why can't you be more like this? Or, I wish you could be more like this. I'm saying this from past experience with family, for instance. Tough love can be a thing, but those intentions are still paved in a good way. They want you to become a happier person, brighter person, or somebody that others will take a liking to, for instance. And it's in the name of improvement and recognizing somebody may like this personality trait about me. Somebody may enjoy this about me. Or somebody already does. And I want to be that better person, man, woman, however else you want to call yourself, so that they can enjoy my presence and my time more. When it comes to us, you can be transparent. If you want me to act a little bit more like that for you, I'll gladly do so. After all, it's the least I can do for my love. A gun? What's that? Oh, you mean that thing that the outsider Sumereko used? I've never used one before, but I'm sure it'd be a pretty good shot. What? You think I've used guns before? For those of you that may not know, Sumereko uses a 3D printed gun in the fighting games. It's quite a hilarious move. It's a super, actually, that does do quite a bit of damage. As for me, I think I can protect you with my knives and my magic enough. You know, humans need lots of affection to live a healthy life. Since I'm the only human living here, you better give me a lot of hugs and kisses. I want to highlight this point in particular, in relation to me talking about that COVID era, where people lost 2 years of their lives. Even if we were connected online in one capacity or another, for instance. Even you're able to text or FaceTime people or communicate in those online ways. It does nothing in comparison to an actual physical human touch. We are social creatures. We crave the affection, attention, and validation of others in the room with us, of the general public, and we do whatever we can sometimes to get in their good graces, or to be seen in the limelight by our friends, our family, and more. That's why those daily affirmations of love, those little check-ins in the morning about how your friends are doing, just asking them, hey, you eating well? Hey, hope your day was good. They do a lot more to the spirit and psyche than you may think. Knowing that somebody is looking out after you, knowing that somebody goes out of the way to look after you. Even if you may not be the closest out of circumstances, but just out of availability. We can do our best to keep each other up, to prop each other up, and to live the best affectionate lives that we can be. You show your love to those who you care about, and they will gladly reciprocate it. And they'll come for you in your darkest hours and be there for you when you're suffering and when you're not feeling the best. We need affection, but we also need to give affection. And to this end, you're doing great. I want you to know that. You can be trying your hardest at all times and feeling like you're not accomplishing anything. But what more is there than that? You did your best. There's nothing more you could do than that. You can be proud that you didn't waste your day away. We grow, we try again, we can cry our eyes out and know that today was a bust. But we pick each other up. Say, I love you for trying your best and doing what your human limits could. And we go again tomorrow. Right? Quite frankly, I'll love you always and always more if you keep trying your best, if you keep going on, if you keep doing the absolute maximum that you can every single day. Even if it means you have to take a day off because you've been pulling yourself ragged, because you've been trying every single thing. That's all I can ask for, because you tried, you put in the effort, the time, and you committed yourself to doing so. And I'm proud of you for doing it. Thank you for trying your best every single day. Now, it's about time you asked. Let's end things off soon enough. Give me a kiss. You want more? Well, you can ask again. On that side of trying. You won't ever get what you want unless you say it out loud. You won't ever get what you need unless you put yourself out there. If you need affection from your soulmate or your friends, don't be afraid to say so. If you need help from your current situation and suffering, don't be afraid to post it out. If you ever just need that little push, that little affection and love, don't be afraid. Say so. I'll be happy to fulfill my side here and give you the resources, that love, that affection that you need to succeed in whatever you're going through. You just have to meet me halfway and put yourself out. Be able to say, I need this, and I'm not afraid to ask for it because I know that I can trust you with my vulnerable state, that I need help, that I need affection, that I need love, or a little bit more. And I'll meet you halfway right back. I'll give you that love. I'll give you that support. I'll give you whatever I can to help you in that situation there. It's just how do business. It's just how help each other out. Right? That's just how my relationship is. And I can't thank you enough for putting yourself out here like this again. You know, there's lots of things that I wish I could have done earlier on in my life. There's lots of things that I wish I could have had a lot more time dedicated to, a lot of interests that I never got to see to fruition. But I didn't have anybody that I looked upon back then, that I tried to rely upon back. So now, as I've grown up more, I want to be that shoulder that you can lean on. I want to be that ray of comfort that you can just bask in. I want to be your lifeline whenever I can, to be able to help you out and be able to say, I'm here for you, always. If I can do that for one person, I've changed their lives. If I can do that for more than that, for more of my friends, I'm able to leave that much more of an impact on all of those lives. But when it comes to each one of those lives, isn't just a number, is a life, is the key word here. It is somebody who is taking that trust, paying it back in full, and being vulnerable with me, being able to say, I trust you enough to call upon you, to say I need help, and to let me help them as much as I possibly can. It is a big ask to always put yourself out there like that. But when it comes to, if you can build up that confidence to be able to ask for help, I will come. I will help. I will be there for you no matter what. I never had that same support structure back then, so I want to be able to offer that same support structure now. That's what I can do for you. Simple as that. Always and forevermore. Or we can enjoy this moment now. That offer will stand forever. As long as I can support you. What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No more. We can laugh at moments like those. And that's just the purest form of love. Taking little moments and getting to enjoy them. I may remember that for much longer than it took me to say it all. just that little bit more. You know, when you love a person, even times when you're just in their presence is the most fun that you can have. To cherish that time with them. Love them. Do that thing that you'd never want to. In the moment, that's what matters. In the moment, you can express your love in any way, old or new. They will appreciate it for you spending their time and you putting yourself out there. Slow times like these, exhilarating times like when you're out and about, they all have their place. But the fact is, you're spending your time with them, and that is something you will never get back. Time. So make the most out of it always. I would know, of course. You don't have to worry about boring me. I promise. Just by being here with you, I'm having the time of my life. If somebody cares about you enough that you can make a fool of yourself, you can do absolutely nothing, or you can do the weirdest, wackiest things that nobody would ever imagine for you. They will be by your side. They will laugh. They will sneer. They will crack jokes. They will be there, enjoying that very same moment with you, in whatever capacity it may be. And spending that crucial time because it's with you. Be it everything, with them reacting to it all, or nothing, but they just get to enjoy being with the one that they love. Spend your time with your loved ones. Spend your time with your friends. Spend your time with your family. It goes a lot longer of a way in everybody's mental state when they can physically conceive somebody is going out of their way for a second, a minute, an hour, a day of their time. Because they can. Because they care enough. Because they love them. You may think it's one day, but look at the calendar today, for instance. It's already almost February. And we keep going on. We keep living these days, however fast, however slow they are. Have you made much out of your own January yet? If not, let's change that together. Let's do the best that we can together. Let's live our lives together. You know, as you know, I can manipulate time. But you might be wondering, how did I get my powers? Well, some things are just way more fun if they're left up to the imagination. Was I born with it? Did I learn it? Is it all just one giant illusion? Maybe when we know each other for longer, I'll tell you. Let's keep getting to know each other. All of these days and more, everybody. At least for now, I think I will start to call it. Been able to enjoy a wonderful hour and a little bit more with all of you tonight. I don't know how well this will be received in the future, but I'm happy to have spent even this one night here. Thank you, everybody. Let's close our eyes for a little bit. We can have this nice little sleep and back, and a little bit more. For now, go enjoy this night together. Thank you everybody for coming by in this little ASMR. How good, how bad that I've done it. Thank you everybody again. We'll read out one of my wonderful friends, and we'll just take it easy. Wherever you are, wherever you may be, whether on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, or more. It's been the Time Maid of the Scarlet Devil Mansion, Sakuya Izayoi. Or in another parallel universe, your Wonderful Wind Maid, your Cruz Ship Servant, Chartreuse Proxy, ever and always at your service. Thank you all for joining tonight. The cruise ship has landed. Proxy raid. You can type out that raid message, and we'll raid out my wonderful member of GaleForce, Ziansu. Let's have ourselves a good night now, everybody.